You can completely change your life, level up, and become unrecognizable in 4 weeks. I used to think that you can't, but you actually can. I have seen enough people transform to know that it works. I've tried it myself, and I know that you can do it too. All it requires is intention plus guided action, which I'm gonna help you with. Just remember that everything that you do for your mind and for your body this month is going to show up in the next month and in the months to come. So if you have spent the first 2 months of 2025 just struggling to change, and you have been waiting for a sign to stop overthinking, to start focusing on yourself, this is it. And I have simplified everything for you guys. We have divided the transformation into 4 different phases. Each phase builds on the previous ones, and it helps you reprogram your habits, rewire your mindset, and improve your energy to turn into the best version of you in the next 4 weeks. Now, before we start, I want to mention that I've actually turned this into a step-by-step follow-along challenge for you guys that you can go and access on the website. So if you require guidance step-by-step, it is going to help you a lot on this journey, but I'll share details at the end of the video. You can jump to this timestamp if you're curious. And with that, let's get into the video. Before we change anything externally, we need to set our internal compass, right? We need to align ourselves internally that we want to change. So these next few steps will help you align your mind, your energy, and your focus so that you are able to stick to this transformation journey for the next 4 weeks. The first thing I want you to do is go ahead and set your word for the month. Now, this is something that you can do every single month moving forward. This single word basically acts as an anchor for your entire transformation. It aligns your energy into a particular direction, and this word keeps you intentional every single day. It means that you're able to focus on one aspect of your life to level up on without getting overwhelmed. So choose a word that reflects the energy that you want to embody in this season. For me, the word for March, for the word of the month for March, is presence. Now, I've been finding myself becoming very distracted very easily, getting sucked into multiple things, basically feeling like time is flying by very, very fast. And I want to be more intentional in this month. So my word is presence. Here on screen, you can see a few other examples. Let me know in the comments what word you go ahead and choose. You can, of course, go ahead and access such words on Pinterest. You can take the help of ChatGPT, whatever works for you. These are just a few examples. Now, you're going to write down this word, and then you are going to put it somewhere where you can see it every single day. Ideally, phone ka wallpaper is the best solution because you open, and every time you open your phone wallpaper, you will see your word of the month. If that's not something that you want to do, you can put it up on your mirror, like bathroom mirror or the mirror where you get ready, or maybe even on a bulletin board, wherever you know that you are going to see it daily. Then you are going to move on to do step 2, which is creating a 4-3-30 calendar. Basically, you have 4 weeks. You are going to figure out 3 things that you want to change or level up in those 4 weeks. And then you are going to dedicate 30 minutes for each thing every single day. That's 1.5 hours in the day. You're basically going to block it out on your calendar for the entire month. Now, these are the things that are going to align with your word of the month, and you can go above and beyond that, obviously, but they definitely do need to align with your word of the month. For me, these things are at least 30 minutes of movement every day. I had fallen off the workout wagon after my Italy trip and kind of never got back to the level of consistency I had before. And I didn't work out much in Jan either, so I want to get back to this. Then the next is 30 minutes of working on a new project that I have. I'm going to share the details pretty soon. This is a huge deal for me, and I know that it is going to help me so much in my work. And then 30 minutes of reading every single day. I need to consume content through other means besides social media, and I really need to get back to my reading habit. So this dedicated step is going to ensure that I do that. I, in fact, read my book today in the morning before I filmed this video. And I have put all of this on the calendar, right? I have blocked out 30 minutes every single day for the rest of the month, for the month of March. And you can see this is what my calendar looks like right now. I will get a reminder every single day to go do these 3 things. Now, you can set the time for whenever works according to your schedule. I am a morning person. I prefer to do these things in the morning because that's when my energy is the highest. You can just basically align it according to your rhythm. Then you are going to go to step 3, which is shifting your identity to embody the future you. The fastest way to change is to act as if you are already the person you want to be. Your brain doesn't really understand the difference between imagined and real experiences, so we are going to use that to our advantage. So for the next 4 weeks, this is what you're going to do every single morning. And it just takes 10 minutes, I promise. You're going to close your eyes for 5 minutes and visualize yourself 4 weeks from now as the best version of you. What have you achieved? How do you feel after accomplishing the goals? What habits have changed for you to become future you? And how are you spending your time now? Just answer these 4 questions in your head while you're visualizing. It'll help you get there better. Then, once you open your eyes after 5 minutes, you're going to do a journal entry as if you are already this person that you've become. And you're just going to write down everything that you felt. So something like, I have become more fit. My body is stronger. I feel so good in my skin. I feel so much more confident. Everything in the present tense as if you are already this person and you're just writing about a day in your life. This is also going to take you another 5 minutes or so. And once you're done with that, you're then going to stand in front of a mirror and repeat these 3 statements while looking yourself in the eye. I am becoming, and your word of the month. So for me, it'll be I am becoming more present with every passing second. I'll follow through on my promises to myself, and I am showing up as the best version of me today. Now, doing these 3 things is basically helping you create an emotional connection to your goal. You feel connected to it. And in the next 4 weeks, when you consistently do this, it will rewire your self-image. And finally, as the 4th step of phase 1, you are going to cut off your escape routes, aka you're gonna make success inevitable. The reason that most people fail to change is because they keep their old habits and their old identity within reach. But now, today, it is time to burn those bridges. These are the 3 things you're going to do right after you watch this video, or you can just pause the video and do them right now. First, you're going to eliminate 3 distractions, one related to each task that you want to fulfill or each goal that you want to fulfill in the next 4 weeks. You are basically going to remove things that waste your time, drain your energy, or pull you away from leveling up. For instance, if you doom scroll a lot and you want to be more mindful in the mornings, deleting Instagram might be a great idea, or unfollowing accounts that make you feel less than might be a good idea. Or you can pull a habit swap and basically replace your Instagram scroll with something that is more mindful, like Pinterest scroll or listening to an affirmation video right in the morning, right? So this swap and this elimination basically ensures that you are making your success inevitable. If you want to quit eating junk food and if you want to eat healthier, you remove junk food from your house, you remove sugar from your house, and that basically makes sure that you are eating what is healthy and what is in front of you. Next, you're going to create accountability. So you can tell a friend, you can post it online, or you can drop a comment here that you are committing to a 4-week transformation. And you're basically going to come back to this comment if you comment here and update us within 4 weeks where you got. And finally, you are going to set a reward for yourself. After your 4 weeks, figure out what is a big enough motivation for you, and you're not going to get that thing unless you complete this 4-week challenge. So it could be a new outfit, a spa day, maybe a short trip, a staycation, whatever works for you and whatever motivates you to push your boundaries forward. For me, it is going to go to this fancy ass spa for a massage, and I'm not going to do that until I complete the 4-week challenge. Most transformation challenges fail because people try to change too much too quickly without really building a foundation that they can stack up on, right? So in this phase, you're going to learn how to hack your mind and your habits to make them almost automatic. The first one is a neuroplasticity hack, where you are basically going to attach these new habits that you want to build, the 3 new habits that you want to build, to your existing routines, right? This is the easiest way to build new habits. Just stack it onto something that you already do daily. Your brain basically thrives on patterns. So when a new habit is attached to an existing one, it becomes automatic. For example, if you want to practice gratitude every day, right? Tie it into your morning coffee. The moment you take your first sip, you say one thing or 5 things or 3 things that you're grateful for. Over time, your brain will start associating that morning coffee with the feeling of gratitude, making it second nature. The key is basically to create a strong link between what you are already doing, what is like cemented into your routine, and the new habit that you want to build. So from the set of habits that you want to build in the next 4 weeks, figure out where in your daily routine they fit in most naturally. Right? So your task for this hack is to basically figure out the 3 habits that you want to build in the next 4 weeks. How do they fit in naturally with your existing routine? Let's say that you want to go to sleep earlier and wake up earlier, and this is the thing that you really want to do in the next 4 weeks. So attaching that to an existing routine would look like, if you brush your teeth before bed, you add a wind down habit right after you brush your teeth. So let's say after brushing your teeth, you go ahead and dim the lights, you put your phone in another room, and you immediately get into bed. So you've basically stacked 3 habits on top of this original habit that you already do. This over the next few weeks will basically start signaling to your brain that it's time to power down. Another example, if you normally scroll on your phone before bed, you want to replace that with a sleep trigger, right? So instead of scrolling, you can listen to calming music or an affirmation video. This will basically ensure that as soon as you lie down into your bed and listen to that affirmation video, that signals to your brain that it's time to sleep instead of that it's time to watch reels. Similarly, for waking up earlier, you need to attach it to a strong morning habit, right? So if you struggle with motivation in the morning, for example, attach waking up early to something that is really, really enjoyable for you. For me, it's definitely coffee, and then it's playing with my cats, and it's also the idea of like listening to affirmation videos that rewire my brain to focus on the positive. So these are the 3 things that I tend to do, and every time I have struggled waking up in the morning, I just remind myself that I get to do this as soon as I wake up. If I don't have time, I won't be able to do these things. The next thing you're going to hack is your dopamine. And for this, you're going to create a dopamine menu. Your brain is already flooded with cheap hits of dopamine, right? So every time you use social media, every time you eat junk food, every time you binge watch a series, all of those things give you that spike in dopamine. And then once you're done with that thing, you just feel really dull, very boring. Your normal life feels very dull and boring in comparison, right? When dopamine is too easy to get, motivation overall for you drops, and you just don't want to do things for the long term. So how exactly are we going to reset it for this month? I've spoken about this before. Instead of relying on cheap hits of dopamine, we are going to create a dopamine menu, which allows us to get dopamine from tasks that we actually find rewarding. Let me know if you want a full video on how to make a dopamine menu, because in videos like these, I can only touch upon the basics, right? But in my experience, dopamine menus are amazing. 1, it makes you more mindful of the things that you really want to do. And 2, it gives you the option to do those things instead of scrolling. Instead of just cribbing about scrolling, you actually get to do something about it, right? So you basically want to create a list of activities that give you genuine joy, excitement, fulfillment without the crashes or guilt that come from cheap hits of dopamine. And you are going to put these into sections like a restaurant menu. Here's an example of what a dopamine menu looks like. So you have your appetizers, which are quick hits of dopamine. You have your mains, which are like longer activities. You have your sides, which are things that you do in tandem with other activities. So everything is here. You can just take a screenshot of this and fill in your own habits under these sections. The third thing you're going to do is shift your self-perception. Basically, you're going to embody main character energy. Your self-image controls how you act, how you feel, and how you believe in yourself, right? So one of the fastest ways to rewire your brain and for you to stick to your path is to start treating yourself like the main character in a movie. The next month is your month, and you are playing to win. Think of it as the training montage in a movie before the hero wins the race or the fight or a ramp walk. This is that month for you, and here is how you're going to act like it. You're going to dress to win every single day for the next 4 weeks. You're going to put on something that makes you feel amazing in your skin. You're going to do your hair, your skincare, and your makeup. It doesn't have to be elaborate. You don't have to go get a blow dry every single month, but just do your skincare, comb your hair, put it in a hairstyle that's easy, that's convenient, and that also looks good. And you are going to show up as your best physical self every single day. You are going to romanticize every small action. Drinking coffee, that's an aesthetic moment. Journaling, you are documenting your transformation story. Working out, you are getting the body of your dreams. And if you want to take it up a notch, take pictures and videos of everything. Document your main character journey. You don't have to post it anywhere, but it will be so magical to see how far you've come in a month. And finally, you are going to take one delulu or delusional action every single day. You know that thing that your brain says कि मुझसे थोड़ी होगा, or it'll take me time to get there. थोड़े time में try करती हूँ. That action, you have to work towards it daily. So figure out one thing that makes you super uncomfortable, but because you're the main character, you do act towards it. So send that email, post that content, apply for that opportunity. Show up as the version of you that already exists in your mind. This brings us to step 4 of phase 2, which is resetting your circadian rhythm. When you are just about to fall asleep, your brain is very malleable. It is very receptive. And this is when you usually watch reels. I am also guilty of doing that. I'm not shaming you. I am not berating you. I'm just saying that this is a problem that a lot of us face. But recently, I started doing this thing. I put on my headphones and I listen to a dream life affirmation as I lie down. Usually it is a 30-minute to 1 hour long YouTube video. Autoplay is off. I learned this the hard way. And as I listen to it, the soothing voice, the soothing music, it just helps me drift off into sleep while visualizing my dream life. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm happy, I'm energized, I am so ready to start living another day as my transformed version. So it ends your night on a high and it starts your morning on a high. And that automatically rewires your brain to kind of want to wake up in the morning and want to go to bed. This is one thing that I'm currently obsessed with, and I think it can have a major impact on how you feel about yourself in the long term. So this is the affirmation. I'm going to link it down below that I listen to at present. I absolutely love it. And I also wanted to ask you guys, do you want affirmation videos from me? I'm planning to create like a set of affirmation videos that you guys can listen to on autopilot whenever you're feeling down, whenever you want to visualize your dream life. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in. The next thing you're going to do in this phase is do an energy reset, where basically align your new habits with your natural energy peaks. Now your energy fluctuates throughout the day. That is the reality. You don't have the same levels of energy throughout the day, right? So instead of fighting it, if you work with it, your life is going to be a lot easier. So if you look at my calendar from the first step, you'll see that all of the 3 habits that I want to work on this month, they're scheduled for the morning because I have the highest amount of energy in the morning and I want to give focused attention to all of these 3 things. And so I'm doing them right in the morning. Sit down for 20 minutes, go over your days and understand when it is that you feel the most energetic, the most focused, and schedule your 3 tasks during those peak times. It will make the change effortless and it will also make it very enjoyable as opposed to it feeling like a chore. You are bound to hit a slump in motivation the longer you try and take action on something, right? And once your motivation ends, you start to feel like this thing that you have to do is a chore, it's a task. Oh my God, I don't want to do it. That's the feeling that comes in, right? Oh my God, today I'm not motivated enough. I'll do it tomorrow. Nope. We are not going to give into those feelings. We are going to ensure that we stick to the end of our journey by becoming consistent with our actions. And how do we do that? Firstly, by changing our narrative, changing how our brain thinks about these tasks. So instead of, oh my God, I have to, you say, oh my God, I get to. Basically, your reason to do that thing needs to be stronger than your resistance. This is why you need to attach a value to your goal. What is the larger picture, the bigger picture that this goal aligns with? We are naturally more consistent with tasks that align with our values. For example, because we want to look good, a lot of us are consistent with our skincare, our makeup routine, our hair routine, because it is tied to us looking good. We want to look good. So like I said, when something is feeling like a chore, instead of saying, I have to do this, you go ahead and say, I get to do this for my, and then you put your value here. So for example, instead of, oh my God, I have to work out, you say, I get to work out for my dream body. Instead of, oh man, I have to study again, you say something like, I get to study to get closer to becoming rich. Instead of, oh my God, I have to eat clean, you say, I get to eat this amazing food that will make me fit and more attractive. And you have to do this every time you feel, your task is a chore. So this basically does 2 things. One, it links your tasks to the big goal that you want to achieve and that actually matters to you. And two, you are attaching the emotion of gratitude to your tasks, because to be able to undertake these tasks, to be able to focus on yourself is a privilege, and you are able to have that privilege. And the second thing that you're going to do as a part of phase 3 is prepare for failure. Consistency is not about perfection, and no matter what you do in these 4 weeks, you are going to have setbacks. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh my God, no, everything is going to be smooth sailing. No, you're going to have setbacks. We're going to be realistic here, because when we're realistic, that ensures that we figure out a way to stay on track. So the most important thing to remember here is that you might miss a task, or you might miss a day of doing the 3 tasks, but that does not make you inconsistent. You just need to make sure that you have a plan to bounce back. So you set a never miss twice rule, easiest way, which is basically you're not going to miss doing that task 2 days in a row. If you skip a workout, for example, or if I skip my reading session, for example, I will first try and make up for it anytime during the day. So if I get 30 minutes somewhere else, I will squeeze in that reading time. And if it is really not possible, like in the last week, I had to take Shio for his neutering surgery, and that went on for so long that the entire day was spent at the hospital. There was no time to do anything else. I will make sure that I don't skip doing that task the next day. And you are going to have an emergency version of your habit, right? You might get days in the month that are busy from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and by the time you get home, there's barely any energy left. You need a contingency plan for those days. When you cannot follow the full routine, do a shortened version of that task, of that routine instead. So if you can't read on a particular day, for example, read an article while you're commuting, or listen to an audiobook if you're driving the car. If you're unable to go for your workout, spend 10 minutes after lunch and after dinner just walking around the house. That's 20 minutes of walking activity in. At this point, you've changed your mindset, energy, habits, and your confidence. But the biggest mistake that people make, they stop once the challenge ends. We are not going to do that. This week is about making sure that you do not fall back into old patterns. And there are a couple of ways that you're going to ensure that this happens. First, you're going to keep what works and ditch what doesn't. People try to hold on to everything that they did in the challenge, right? So if I have been doing 5 things, I will try and do all those 5 things all of the time. And this leads to burnout. What you're going to do after this challenge ends is you're going to sit down and figure out what are the 20% of actions that gave you 80% of your result. Make a what's worth keeping list. So write down what habits and what systems actually worked and had a positive impact on you, and make a what's not worth keeping list where you write down habits and systems that you did but they didn't contribute too much, right? So let's say this is what your list looks like. Things that worked for me: 30-minute daily workout was very doable. I was able to habit stack other habits on top. I also started eating clean. Things that didn't work out: on days that I did strength training, I didn't have the energy for the rest of the day to do anything else. 30 minutes was too less to work on a project, but I don't have more time to dedicate to it. These are the 2 things that didn't work, for example, right? Now, doing this exercise will expose the gap in your systems. It will show you where you need to make changes. So in the above example that I gave, I need to figure out an alternative to spending time on the Dean project daily. So what I can do instead is dedicate 3 to 4 hours to it over the weekends to batch tasks and get the work done instead of just spending 30 minutes every single day. This is how you lock in your changes, by tweaking your system, not by changing your goal. You keep what's effective, and this means you don't burn out and you don't have to create resolutions at the beginning of each year only to give up on them later. And the second thing you're going to do is create a future you action plan. So you're going to sit down, give yourself an hour after the 4 weeks are up, and just think about and write it down in your journal about what changed in the last 4 weeks. Write whatever comes to mind. Just do a reflection exercise. This will help you get clarity on what you want to do next. Then you are going to set 3 big goals for the next 3 months to keep the momentum going. These can be goals that build up on your current goals, or these can be completely new goals. That is up to you. And you're going to push yourself out of your comfort zone every single week. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, to make things super simple for you, I have created a 4-week follow-along challenge that will help you stay on track, push you outside of your comfort zone, and speed up your transformation. It is beginner friendly. It is very easy to follow through on. So if you're serious about leveling up, about transforming, this can be a really helpful addition to what you're already doing. Plus, all of us are going to be there together, cheering each other on. This is a paid challenge. It is accessible on the website. The link is in the description. description. I am going to share a list on screen of what is inside the challenge. There's daily journal prompt, there's daily challenges, progress trackers, all of that good stuff, and of course, live question and answer support. If you're interested, like I said, the link is in the description, and you can use this code FUTUREYOU to get a 25% off the entire price. So there you have it. You have everything that you need to get started with this challenge. You have everything that you need within you, honestly. So it's time to stop waiting for the perfect time, because that time is now. Commit to doing this challenge, whether you're just following along on the YouTube video or whether you join the challenge on the website. Lock in, comment down below that you are logged in. Make sure you go check out this video next, because YouTube says you're going to love it. And I am going to see you guys very, very soon in the next one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.